All right, I think we are 3 minutes into the session, and I would like to get started. First of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us for the Maximizing Amazon Connect session. For today, again, we have the topic to discover how to leverage Amazon Connect analytics insights to achieve these goals. And today, we'll have the technical session, which really focus on the dive deep demos and also teach you how to set up your Amazon Connect to achieve those different goals. By the way, my name is Jing Zhen. I'm Senior Go-to-Market Specialist for Amazon Connect. My main responsibility to bring you all innovation from Connect and working with you together to make sure that we deliver the product can meet your needs. My day-to-day life is working with customers, partners, and it really make me really appreciate the feedback and also be able to work with you, understand your requirements. And today I'm honored to have 4 Connect experts from our team to do the demo and also to show you how to set things up. I'll let them to introduce themselves. Naveen, you want to start?
Hi. My name is Naveen Narayan. I am a principal solution architect for Amazon Connect. I've been with this team for approximately 6 years, been in the contact center space for 25 some years, and looking forward to this session and any questions that you might have. Thank you. And I'll pass it over to Julie.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Julie Golzarian, and I am a solution architect. I specialize in analytics, and I lead a team of subject matter experts. So I like to talk to customers about our theme detection, our data lake, all things about data and analytics. So I'm happy to share with you some great things. Now over to PK.
Thank you, Julie. Hey, everyone. This is Prashant Krishnamurthy. I go by PK. I'm a senior partner solutions architect specialized at Amazon Connect. I work with our national SIs and global SI partners in building their Amazon Connect practice and building solutions, technology packages, and IPs for just industries. Looking forward to this session. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Ram here. I'm a senior partner solution architect specialized in Amazon Connect, working with the SI and GSI partners. Looking forward to have a great session with you guys to talk more about contact center analytics and insights to achieve your business goals.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We will definitely have a great session. By the way, I have my QR code right there from my LinkedIn. So if you ever want to reach out for more details or future sessions, and let us know. You are also watching my post. We'll let you know when we confirm. All right, we have 120 minutes today to discuss a lot of topics. First of all, we'd like to be able to do an overview. I'll take some time to overview. Some of you probably joined the session yesterday, but I'll just refresh your memory with what Connect with differentiators, all the data plays, and also contact lens. It has analytics tool and a quality management tool for you to achieve your business goals. And then I'll hand over to our SA team to do a dive deep demo and how to set things up. We'll cover many topics today: proficiency routing, case automation, contact lens conversational analytics, performance evaluation, and screen recording, including how and I'll talk about some rules and the task automation, which are really great tools to help you to automate your business process. And then theme detection and zero, the data lake preview. We covered most of this at a very high level yesterday, but today you get more details on how they work and how they're going to show up in your product. Oh, same thing has analytics dashboards. And at the end, we might have some time for Q&A. And let's get started. All right. So Amazon Connect is really the one application that provides you the customer contact center services that with seamless experiences. Has what the application we offer you not omni-channel capabilities, but also your agent empowerment tools and also the analytics insight optimization to give you customers, to give your supervisor and managers the insights to capture your business insights. We have tens of thousands of customers already on board in Amazon Connect, and we also have every day we have more than 1 million contacts interactions ongoing. So it's very scalable. And also, as you know, the reason we have Amazon Connect was because it was first used by our Amazon retail customer service. And we have more than 100,000 agents on it using this product to serve our Amazon customers. So it's very scalable, efficient, and most importantly, is now you have one application with seamless experiences and with all the data together. And that's what we want to focus on today. As I said, yes, we cover different personas in all contact center. First, we want to be able to make sure your customer can interact with you with the way they prefer to do. So we offer multiple channels. We also offer you different ways like a video calling, and also voice. We also offer your outbound campaign to be able to reach out to your customers for opportunities and task management. We will get a little more details later. On the agent side, in addition to just giving agent a tool, making calls and communicate with the customers, we offer a lot of other tools to help your agent managing cases, give them assistance they needed when they're dealing with customers, especially the newly announced Gen AI capability with Amazon Q for Connect, and you will be able to give agent real-time assistant to be able to let them to answer the customer's question in the proper way, in the best way. So agent empowerment is one of the focus investment that we have for the future. And the supervisors, that's what we're going to focus today. Analytics, insights, optimization. That does not include only just real-time historical metrics and the dashboards. We also have conversational analytics, which covered on contact lens, quality management, and forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling, which will help you to put the right agent at the right time to meet your SLAs. In the administration side, in addition to very easy to use self-serviceable configurations in the portal, we also offer you APIs, so you will be able to use them to customize what you want to control, and with automation and with your own interface. Again, just one application, and now you can see we have customer data, how they want to interact with you, what's the journey, and what's the preference, right? That's really help you to offer more personalized services and also make your customer happy. For agent, you already have agent data too. What your agent needs, what your performance is, and how your agent interacting with your customers. So you will be able to better give them more training and capabilities to help them to the real-time job. And same thing for supervisors and administrators. So with all this data together, how can we really leverage from different angles, give you the insight and so you can take the best action next time and to be able to optimize your operation. We covered some of the scenarios yesterday. So if you are not in the session, please welcome to watching the recording. We will publish later. But really today, we would like to really focus on Amazon Connect Contact Lens, which is our conversational analytics and quality management powered by AI. Since we launched Contact Lens in 2019, we have been adding a lot of capabilities in it. You can see in this three different buckets. We already have something that Connect already covers, right? Like real-time historical analytics that comes with Connect, voice call recording, and the supervisor bargain. Those are the capabilities already comes with Connect, but that's really going to help your supervisors to the job. So we include as part of Contact Lens. Context search and the rules, which are in the bottom right bucket, and that is a powerful tool to help you to be able to, your supervisors easily getting started to query different things you're looking for and define rules to be able to automate some things and capture main call drivers. That's where we'll explain more today on all the different rules, how you set it up and how you can use them better. Let me move on to the left bucket, which is the conversational analytics for voice and chat. We provide both voice and chat in both post-call, post-contact, and also real-time. So that means not only after contact is finished, you will be able to see the analytics of the conversation, etc., And you can also monitor them in real time. That means while the call is going, you will be able to see transcriptions and drivers. So that's some of the things for both voice and chat. The newly launched preview at reInvent is the Gen AI powered post context summaries, and that is where you will be able to, without you doing anything, you should be able to see a summary of the conversations in a very rich context paragraph. It will tell you what your customer asking for, what your agent did agent solve the problem? Is there any action item to follow? And in the later demo, you can see how can we fully leverage this summaries to be able to put into your different applications to saving agents time and improve your process. Along with that, we'll cover theme detection later on today. How will you uncover the unknown and common trends of your conversation, the main drivers of your conversation. We'll also talk about some real-time supervisor alert to let your supervisor get notified when some critical metrics changes in real time or some escalation comes in a conversation, like customer escalations or compliance violations. So we'll demo that and also tell you how to set it up. Contact transcription, that's no burner. Yeah, that comes with the conversational analytics attached in the call detail page. Contact categorization is one powerful capability as well. A lot of customers use them to capture, monitor the main drivers, the topics, so they will be easily using for quality management and also using for analytics to find the common trends. Sensitive data redaction, that's for a lot of customers who really care about the PII data protection, right? We do that automatically, not only redact the phrases in the transcription, that we also will redact the audio recording as well. So you protect the data in the audio recording as well. So that's some of the things a lot of our customers using. Same thing for sentiment analysis, right? Telling you, is your customer happy or how your agent's dealing? So we monitor both, not only the sentiment scores, but also the training of the sentiments. And later on, last year, we announced performance evaluation, which is allow you to use a scorecard to evaluate agent performance. And also we allow you to use the analytics data to automate it. We'll get a more deep dive later on today on how do you be able to using performance evaluation to automate your agent performance evaluation process. And then of course, screen recording that added a lot of value to be able to monitor non-talking time, monitor back office works, and also monitor after call works when your agent, if you take too much time for them to wrap up the call, you will see what's going on. So that's pretty much what the core of today. I will take just one more minute to tell you what the demo use cases are. It's really the end-to-end experience from the first contact from the customer to the quality improvements. We'll start with customer calls insurance company making a claim, right? And then we'll have the calls will be routed to the best agent to handle it because the proficiency routing is there. And in a case, we'll create automatically with the Gen AI summary attached to it. So now when the next people taking the case, they will understand what's going on. And then we'll also have a task created for back office agent to be able to process this case, this claim automatically. And then we also take have a scenario of it, notify the supervisors to take action because the queue is getting too long. And then we also have a triggering evaluation task because certain criteria like low customer sentiments. So the QA team will be notified to do an evaluation on the contact which had with unhappy customer. And of course, when the evaluation getting below certain criteria, we want to create a task for the supervisors to review the call and do a coaching session with this agent. So you see, this is really end-to-end from starting the first contact to how to evaluate it and make sure that your agent will be able to have the right training to meet your customer's needs. All right, I'll stop here and hand over to PK for his demo.
That's great. Thanks very much, Jing. And yeah, we hear that Jing some of the participants are having issues with hearing you. They just requested for video to be turned off. So rest of us will not be turning on the video for the rest of the webinar today. Okay. And if you face any issues like that, please do let us know. We will try to address it ASAP. Thank you. With that, I will start sharing my screen here. Okay, I see what I'm sharing over here. Awesome. So you heard the use case that Jing just walked you through, right? Where we are just going to show in a competitive insurance landscape how we are assisting in delivering an exceptional customer experience. And in this use case, Ram would be acting as a customer. He would be Jack Ryan, who would be calling in to file a claim. And we would walk through the scenario, and through the scenario, we would just probably, while on the call, stop for a bit to highlight how the proficiency routing is coming into picture and how you can easily just adjust it while the call is in the queue to show that how the call can be answered by the right skilled agent. And then we will be going over the conversation to highlight how the agent experience is going to be, customer experience, how we are keeping the customer informed, how is the process being streamlined, and the automation is helping to just get these data transmitted to appropriate systems and teams, and then it's making operationally very easy and optimizing the performance of the contact center itself. That's what we are going to see. So now, Ram, could you go ahead and please make the test call? And I would be acting as the agent and I would be Mike. Thank you. Ram, please go ahead and make the call.
All right, PK, let me start. I'm putting on the speakerphone.
Hello, Jack Ryan. Thank you for contacting Any Company Insurance. Did you know you can perform many of the services like add a vehicle, file a claim, premium payments via our Any Company mobile application? If you would like to use the mobile application, I can send the link now. Please say yes to receive a text message or no to proceed with the voice call.
No.
I am Techie, your virtual assistant. How can I help you today?
Can you find me an advisor?
Can you provide the reason or topic that you would need assistance with?
I need to file a claim.
Thank you for calling. Your call is received.
Okay, at this time, you would see that the call with claims 4 has been in queue and our agent is on level 2 instead of 4. So I'm just going to bump it up to 4 and save it. And the next thing you see is the call just coming into the agent itself. Now I'm going to answer the call. Hello, Jack. Thank you for calling Any Company Insurance. I see you're calling to file a claim. How can I assist you?
Hey, Mike, I need to file a claim on a windshield repair. My windshield cracked while I was driving yesterday.
I'm sorry to hear about the damage to your windshield. Can you please provide me with some additional details so I can assist you with filing the claim?
Yes, of course. The incident happened around 2 p.m. yesterday while I was driving on the highway. A small rock hit the windshield and caused pretty significant damage.
Oh, sorry to hear that. And is this on your Tesla or Honda?
It's on my Tesla.
Okay, got it. Could you please share the location of the incident, like the state where this incident happened?
Sure. It happened in San Jose, California.
Thank you. And for the security purposes, we will be sending an one-time passcode to your phone via SMS. Could you please read it out for me to continue with this claim processing?
Absolutely. Let me look into it. Okay, it is 987654.
Thank you. Based on the information you have provided, I have all the details that's captured now, and I have submitted the claim.
Okay, that's good to know. What is my next step?
Here is what will happen next. Once I submit the claim details to our claims department, then you need to upload the image of the damaged vehicle to our portal. They will review the information and will be in touch with you to discuss the next steps and schedule an appointment for the windshield repair.
Sounds good. Is there anything else I need to do from my end?
You don't need to take any additional action. Our claims team will reach out to you directly once the images are received.
Understood. Thank you so much for your help in this.
You're welcome. I'm happy I could get the claim started for you today. I will be sending you an email as follow-up with the claim number for future reference. Please let me know if you have any other questions.
I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye. So here you can see that we just captured all the details and we have all of the transcript coming through right after the call, and you could see the automated case that was created when the customer said he wanted to create a case for file a claim. So you can see that initially it has that file a claim. Now, once I go back and finish the workflow here, and then if I go back and hit a refresh on the case itself, you're going to see the car model details, and the claims is already moved to a substatus as review. All of these are being automated because we know that we submitted a claim, and then behind the scenes, we are also creating a task, which Ram would be showcasing a little bit further in the demo. Now, I would just like to pivot and showcase how these details are seen within the contact details page. That's where you get to see what the sentiment is, what's the talk time, non-talk time, hold durations, how the conversation went in graphs, the generative AI summary. You get to see all these details. Let me go ahead and close this contact at this time and take you to the console to provide a walkthrough of the same. There you go. So to do that, I just have a call that was made from earlier today. I'm just utilizing it to explain now while we wait for this actual call to be coming up on the contact lens, because it takes about few minutes to process each call post completion. So just please do wait for it, then you're going to see that. So this is the contact details page, and up top is where you just get to see the channel type, and you can see that the call came in on the claims queue and it was answered by Mike, and it was an inbound method. And you could see that the generative AI summary for that call, where the customer called to file an insurance claim for a cracked windshield on their Tesla car, which happened in a highway. You could see that the redaction coming up here. So this is where contact lens redaction feature for PII, it's just helping to reduce any manual efforts that's been done, or in the past you had to just set up a lot of heavy application and differentiated code that was written to just address these pieces, or even for that matter, trying to pass and resume recordings in some cases. Then you can see that the agent collected these details and then submitted the claim and highlighted what the customer has to do in terms of uploading an image itself. That's at a high level. You get a short and crisp summary succinct way from the generative AI. This feature is currently in preview, so please feel free to try it out by submitting the preview forms. And you can see the evaluations. Since the call just happened, we haven't started the evaluations. We will be looking at it in more detail in the upcoming segment where Navin would be providing a walkthrough of the same. And further below, you see the conversational analytics where you can see the customer sentiment, how it just moved from negative when the call started at the end to being on the positive end. And you can see the average overall customer sentiment and agent sentiment, which is being on the positive side because the agent was able to obtain all the details, submit the claim, and the customer also received a notification as part of this where we are sending out an email saying, hey, thank you for choosing any company and your claims have been submitted. So you get an email like this, which is all automated, and they get, like the agent promised, the promises are being met and all of these are being automated to reduce the manual effort. That's what is happening here. And more on the talk time perspective, you could just see what was the customer talk time here, what's the agent talk time here. And within the customer sentiment, you can see for what percentage of the time it was neutral or it was in positive or it's in negative. And you also get to see these different shades highlighted on the more on the wave stream of the audio below as well. We will go over to that shortly. And you can see the split between the talk times between the agent, the customer, and the non-talk time, where there is a brief moment of silence or the agent is looking for some additional information, pieces of info, details like that. You get those both in graph, percentages, and the actual to the seconds in terms of what's been happening. Below this, we provide the screen recording. As you can see, I just hit on the play. You can see the screen recording coming in. And I have about like 3 screens here. So I'm just trying to zoom into the screen where I have the agent itself. So I'm just trying to look at it. And if I just switch to any point, you can just see that it would just keep changing. And it's just pretty seamless. You get to know. And like we highlighted, you can see that where the issue statement for detected. So you can just see, okay, that's where the issue was detected. And that's why you see the negative sentiment from the customer. And then you can see when the positive statements are being made and the customer is happy about those. So you can just click on those points to see what the positive statements that was made and play and navigate it real quick. So this saves more of the time for your supervisors and managers, makes the process more efficient. And as we scroll down, it's not just this player allows you to navigate by skipping through to these chapters. You also have the ability to download, and you can just change the speed at which you just want to have this playback, or you just want to watch only the video and you do not want to listen to any of these. You can just do all those items. You also have the ability to share this by clicking on the share button. And as we move down, another key feature which works alongside with the generative AI summarization is the ability to highlight and see why the customer is calling about. You can see the issue statement is available, the outcome is available, action item. So you can just click on the action item where the agent said will be sending out an email. So that's just easily available. You just click on the outcome. You know that the agent has submitted the claim. And you see these categories, which is driven by the rules, which would be explained in the next segment in more in detail. But I just want to highlight what the greeting was here. In this case, you can just see that the thank you for calling any company insurance is highlighted. That's where the category is, and that just helps in compliance of the interaction itself. More so, you also get additional details in the contact details page. For the purposes of this session, we would just move ahead and not focus on it. And by this time, we should have had the conversation available for us to view in the contact search page for this call that we made. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see at 12:20 p.m. we made this call. So I'm going to open it. You should be able to see Yeah, we are still waiting on the data to come through on it. Once it comes through, we would just be good there. Okay. Now let's look at how we achieved this. To achieve this, we have a setup where to turn on contact lens, you would go into the console itself and start with the analytics tool. And by a simple click of the button, you can just enable the contact lens. So that would be the first step to get started. And once you have just enabled this, the next step would be going into the contact flow itself. So I have a sample contact flow here where I have a recording block here, and within the recording block, you can see that we have the recording features available here. I would go directly to the analytics. So you can see that the analytics is turned on, and we have it turned on for both speech analytics. We have it available for chat as well. And we are trying to do both real-time and post-call analytics here. And you can see the language that's used. And the redaction was happening because we have this redact sensitive data checkbox clicked. And you have two options here, whether you would like to generate redacted and original transcript and audio, or you can just select only the redacted transcript only and then audio for both. So these are some of the options that you have when you are redacting the data. And in terms of how you want to redact data and what data you want to redact, either you can select redact all PAA data, or you can just say like, hey, I want to pick only certain PAA entities to be redacted. My focus is only on financial and some personal information. Let's say I'm okay with name not being redacted. So I can just unselect that, and I can just move down all the way to say how that redaction should show up. Should it show like a PII here, or like how you just saw in this earlier conversation where you saw that address? So it would just identify as an address, or in this case, name. Would you like to see things like that? So that's what the redact PII entity type does it. So you can just utilize either one of them to just redact it accordingly based upon your needs. So this simply allows you to just turn on contact lens and then get started. There are more features alongside with it, which we will be looking in more detail. Once this has been set up and then the analysis starts, right, you will be able to see these analysis files available in the S3. So within your Amazon Connect specific S3 bucket, you will find a folder as analysis, and you will see that there are two separate folders, one for chat and one for voice, and you just find the respective year, month, and things. And right here, you can just see that the analysis file for the last call that we just made will be out here. It will all be in JSON, and we share the details of how you can consume this JSON. We have a detailed samples that's been provided with which you can just do that. We also allow for you to utilize the Kinesis stream to get these data in real time as well, in near real time as well, pretty much as on when for every turn you want a transcript, you want to know the sentiment, you want to know the category, you can also get those. While we do that, I wanted to show how the content of the JSON analysis JSON file looks, where you might be able to see that turn by turn where the customer and all the agent details are being captured here. You can see that in this case, the agent is the participant is saying, hello, Jack, thank you for calling, and details like that. And if you're just trying to see what's the overall sentiment, you can just look up here where the agent overall sentiment is here. So pretty much since it's in JSON format, you can just use this to get all the necessary details and then take it to your respective data warehousing and create your own analytics insights as required, apart from out-of-the-box offering. The generative AI response will also be available on this JSON file so that you can just read them and then utilize them for pre-processing. So just to provide you an example, in terms of what we were showing, I would just like to showcase one of the examples from the past that we may have done, where you would be able to see we just picked up the generative AI summary and then automatically we are just adding it on the comments. Ram will be going in detail to showcase how the Lambda code is built and how we are just automating this entire process using rules and Lambda and event bridge and etc. Okay. And the next thing that we would like to showcase here is how to set up the screen recording. So just like how once you have set up the contact lens, the next step here is you would go into the data storage and turn on the screen recording by moving all the way down to the screen recording, and then you can just turn it on. You select the S3 bucket and then the path prefix, and then you can turn it on. And you can very well see that coming into the S3 bucket and the path prefix you provided, and based on the year, month, and date, the partitions, it just keeps dropping the files. And if I just refresh this, you would be able to see that the new file that just came through at 12:27 for the test call that we just made during this demo. Okay, so the first step would be enabling this. Once you have enabled the screen recording on the data storage, the next piece that you would have to do is you would have to go to this link to download the application package required for screen recording. So in this case, I have it installed on my machine, and to verify this installation is successful and looking good, you can just navigate to the logs path, which would be on your program data Amazon Connect client service logs. You can just go into this and take a look at the log file, where you can just open this log file and see that, hey, it's starting the recording and it's just trying to batch process the upload itself and how the recording is being sent. You would be able to validate all those. So this would be the second step in the process while you're trying to set up the screen recording itself. Once this setup is done and you have verified, now you would just go back into the contact flow, and on the same recording block, you can see that there is a screen recording option. You can just turn it on and off. And along with this, you have an ability to just say like, hey, I just want to record only 50% of it, and for which I just need some reporting to be done. So you can just add a contact attributes as screen recording and then say that whether it's a true or false. So that way you can just go into the contact search, and then the supervisor can just add the custom attribute filter to say like, is the screen recording is true, then it would only load those kind of values. To provide you an example of it, instead of the screen recording, I can just show you like other features here where, let's say, within the contact lens, I decide to pull in the interactions where we said the word repair. You also have the ability to pull all the contacts where you just said this word, and it was identified as part of your respective category as well. You could also go back and do it at the contact category level. You can just select which ones you just want to see. If it is out there, you can just apply it, and you can see all the interactions where these respective categories were just selected. With this, I will pass it on over to Ram to showcase the rest of the flow here in terms of how the case is processed further, the proficiency routing happens, and the rules. and come back to the demo on chat margin. Are there any questions on that pending answers, or we need to take it on the voice here, Ram, before we move ahead?
Yeah, I think most of the questions are answered, PK. Only one thing which we need to clarify is for transcriptions, how many parties can you support? I believe it is 2, but I just need to double check on that.
Correct. For a multi-party chat, yeah, or for a multi-party conversation, at this time, contact lens does not support. So that's something for future. Please do reach out to us offline. Happy to talk through on that, and then work with our product teams for you. Okay.
Yep. And I just want to request everyone, some folks are asking the questions on the chat. Instead of the chat, can you please post your questions on the Q&A panel? It'll be easier for us to answer you back. Thank you. All right. Thank you,
Great.
PK.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and share my screen.
Yes, please.
All right. So I have my agent who is logged in here. Just let me create that agent. I'm going to go as available. At this point of time, since there was a task that was created for me, it has come. And basically what's happening is in case if you see that there was a claim that was filed for repair, and that's why this task is assigned to me. And let me just get all cases in case if I see this. Yes, there's the one which was created. As of now, the comments are not added. I'll tell you why, because when I made the test call, I put my phone on mute, but I kept the speaker on full volume so you guys could hear. But for contact lens perspective, my voice did not get delivered. That's the reason the summary was not created. But however, I have one of the earlier ones which I would like to demonstrate that to you. So in case if you see here, it's Prashant and myself, we were making a test call just before this demo. And here, in case if you see this particular comment is extracted from the contact lens GenAI summary, and it's automatically added here. So my inbound call came and the task was assigned to me. Once I answered the task at that point of time, essentially the comments which were associated with that conversation got automatically populated. So you can see from the agent perspective, yes, they know they're filing the claim for repair, but if they want to know additional context, what car it is and where it happened and what other additional action items are required from the agent perspective, they have the summary here and they will be able to review once the review is complete. And the next is in case if they want to reach out to the customer, they have the ability to call them directly, because in case if you see here, the contact details are there. They can click on the contact details. And in case right now I don't have the permissions, that's the reason it's giving me a 403. But if I had the permissions, I'll be able to get the contact details as well, like the customer name, customer number, and everything. And if this back office agent has any other further clarifications, they can use the dial pad and call the customer. All right. So as of now, what I will do is I'll just go ahead and close this task. And then I just want to walk you through the Lambda function which generates this command. So let me go here and just let me move these icons. It's just blocking my view. All right. Okay. So the first thing which I want to do is let me go to the Lambda function. And the Lambda function, the one which I created, is called CL GenAI summary for case comments. So even prior to this, we want to ensure this Lambda function gets executed once the file is written into your S3 bucket. So if you look at your S3 bucket, this is my S3 bucket. And to get that, essentially, if you go to your data storage, all the call transcripts, recordings, plus the analytics, right? Everything is stored in this S3 bucket. And if I go here, where is my S3 bucket? In my S3 bucket, in case if you look at the objects, it will be written in the folder analysis. And depending upon chat or voice, essentially then it's got the folder structure, year, month, and the date. Now all these files are created based on the conversation which we had. What we need to ensure is once the JSON file is written into the S3 bucket, we need to notify the Lambda function so that it can broadcast or it can extract that GenAI summary and associate to the case. So once you have identified this S3 bucket, next what you have to do is you have to create a rule in the event bridge. You also have the ability where you can go directly to the sorry, if I go back to the bucket again, if I go back to this bucket, I have the properties. In the properties, you have the ability to even directly call the Lambda function. But in case if you have multiple Lambda function, then it becomes challenging for the same path. So then at that point of time, what I have done is I've enabled the event bridge notification. From the event bridge notification, I have written a pattern saying that in case if an object was created and if the source is S3 bucket and name of the bucket is this Amazon Connect C3 etc. And then in case the reason is put object, that means somebody wrote some information onto that bucket and it has to be the prefix of analysis. Once it's done, then it's got the targets, and the targets is where I am specifying what is the Lambda function that I had to execute and extract the GenAI summary. So in case if I come here, this is the Lambda function which I've written a node function, Node.js, and it's in a JavaScript language. From the JavaScript language, in case if you look at here, it's just I define the variable AWS because I will be leveraging the AWS SDK, and I'm just initializing the variables for connect and cases. I had taken the instance ID and the case domain ID. So instance ID is coming from here. I just hard coded this, but you can make it even parameterized. I just want to show the demo. That's the reason I have everything hard coded there. And then you need to get the case domain. For the case domain, you can go to the cases and you get the domain identifier for that as well. So I've taken those two. And then next is, in case if you see, this is the entry for this Lambda function. What I'm doing is I'm writing all this information into CloudWatch logs as well, so that it's easier for you to track and see how it looks like. So I'm just clicking on this CloudWatch logs. And let's look at how it came through and how we extracted, right? So just give me a second. Let me go back to a little earlier call. I think it was 13:59. Okay, let's look at this. I think these were the chats which were coming through. That's the reason it didn't go through fine. But let me get this. 13:54. All right. Let me get this. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just do this one. So the event is coming from event bridge. When it comes, the payload is going to look something like this. It says object created, and it will give you which bucket it is. Based on the bucket, it's got the file where the contact lens data is written. You will extract the data. It's got the name, key, and everything. So I'm in case if you look at it, here is the key, here is the bucket name. And if you notice, what is critical for me is to get this file. And then usually the format which it's written is the folder and the year, month, and date. And then this will be your contact ID. And the rest you can ignore because it's an analysis file and it's written the JSON structure. So I'm getting that S3 bucket. Then I'm just splitting, like I said, because I want to get the contact ID. So I got the contact ID here. Based on the contact ID, next what I'm doing is once I get the contact ID, then the next thing is I'm getting the contact lens data directly from the S3 bucket, and it will be written in the binary format. So from the binary format, it's important for you to convert to UTF character. Once you get it, then I'm just pushing this into the summary into the variable. And then next what I'm doing is I'm also getting the get contact attributes. So in the contact flow, what we did was we attached the case ID so that I can extract that case ID and I can attach these GenAI summary. So I got the contact attribute for the case ID. And that's what I'm doing here, attributes.caseID. And then now I'm attaching the GenAI summary. To do that, I have to give it in this format, content, and it has to be in a body, and the content type should be text plain. And then I'm just saying as a comment, and then I'm sending the content. The content is nothing but our GenAI summary. So that one is called using the create related item. Again, these are all documentation which is available to you here. In case if you see, it's clearly documented under the Amazon Connect cases. And that I'm just passing the parameter, what is my domain ID, what is the case ID, and what's the content and what's the comment. And that essentially gets attached, and it's going to show you something like how we had earlier, and it's going to come like this. Right. And then I can show one of the test event which I written yesterday. Just let me configure this one. So this is the one which we made a test call yesterday. That's why it's written as 19. So I'm going to just process it again so that I can showcase to you in the Lambda logs how it looks like. And let's go back here and then get the latest log file. And then let's look into this. Is this 19th? Yep, this is 19th. And we got all the information. Let's resume and let's get the rest of the logs that was written. Yep, there you go. In case if you see here, I got the bucket name. Based on the bucket, I extracted that GenAI summary, and I'm just logging in here. And once I do it, then I'm retrieving the contact attributes because I need the case ID, and I get the case ID, and here is the case ID details. And then what I'm doing is I'm making a call to the get related item, and then for the related item I'm adding the comment, and here's the information. Pretty much I got the confirmation saying that yep, you're good to go, and that's how it's been completely automated. And then for the agent who is sitting in the back office, they will be able to review and help the customer out. Right, so that's a setup that's required to automate it. It's pretty straightforward. And in case if you need more information, please let us know. We'll be very happy to help you out on that. Let's look at quickly on our proficiency-based routing. We launched last reInvent, and the first thing which we want to ensure is before going to the proficiency routing, look into the security profiles. For security profiles, you had to ensure the user, whoever is logging under the routing, you have a new item called predefined attributes. They should have access to edit, create, delete, or view, depending upon the role they are assuming. Once you have it, then essentially what you'll do is you'll be logging to the user, and then what you'll do is under the routing, you have something called predefined attributes. In the predefined attributes is where you're going to define, what are the type of skills you have. So for example, right now we had a use case for insurance, right? Insurance, I'm defining this, and it can be auto insurance, home insurance, boat insurance. You'll have different set of agents who will be trained because there may be due to compliance or regulatory different reasons, you will be having an agent specialized in certain area. And that's the reason, in case if you look at here, we had defined, different values for the insurance. And even in case if you go for the next one, I have an insurance call reason. It can be the example which we had was related to claims, or it can be billing, payment, add a vehicle, add a driver, new policy, so on and so forth. So for us, we had something called claims, and essentially, we had the flow built according to that. So what we did was, in case I'm just going to take an example to show certain things, in the contact flow as well. In the contact flow, what we introduced is called the routing criteria. This is a new block which came as a part of the proficiency-based routing. So this should come before you hit the transfer to queue flow. And then as a best practice, what I do is I do even before the set queue. And then what I will do is I'm just going to add these two here, saying that a call has come in. Now I know the customer is calling because of the file claim. So I can define a routing step saying that, look, I want an agent who has auto insurance skill greater than or equal to 5. And then I'm going to say And then I'll add one more requirement. Not only that, the call reason is equal to claim. So I have my agents who can handle this, and that's why I want it. And now once you have this, I'll say, you know what, I will give 30 seconds. Let's say my SLA is for these type of calls, I want to answer within 60 seconds. First 30 seconds, I want to get my top-notch agents who can help them out. And in case if for some reason, in case if they are not able to answer them, then I can add a second routing group. In this, what I will do is I'll relax my criteria. I'll just call it as 2. And then I'll also add one more. I'll just call it as insurance call reason. Same thing, claims greater than or equal to 2. And then this point of time within 30 seconds, if this agent does not answer, then what I will do is I'll give it to any agent who has the auto insurance of 2 or the claims is equal to 2. And then here I have the ability to set the expiry time either in seconds or minutes. At this point of time, I'm going to just call it as never expire, and I'll click on save. And once I do it, and then I'm calling the next step, I'm calling the set working queue, which queue the call should be held up while the agent becomes available with this routing criteria. And then once the agent becomes available, then the call from the queue, it will go to the agent, and the agent will be able to answer the call. This also will be helping you in terms of WFM, because majority of your forecasting, everything comes from the queue. So all the queue metrics and everything will be tracked here. And even in the contact list records, we will also provide you or publish the information about what was the routing criteria that was selected when the agent answered the call. Right, once it's done, then next which I want to showcase to you is the contact lens rules. So if you go to the contact lens rules, the first one which I want to showcase is when the call came in, you saw that there was no agents who were available, and essentially what Prashant did was he had to go and change the what is called the routing profile of a particular agent, saying that, hey, I'm going to increase your proficiency from 2 to 4, right? Why he did? Because he got an email notification which looks something like this. He got an email from Connect saying that, hey, your queue threshold, the oldest call waiting, has breached your threshold. So in case if you want to take any action, you can do it. So this is for the demo which we selected, which we perform. But think about the real-time scenario, right? Where you have calls which are sitting in the queue, and you have SLAs that you had to reach to meet the business KPIs. And it's important that you answer those calls. So you're giving a real-time notification to the supervisor, so that the supervisor, in case if it's required to reskill the agents, they can do that. So the one which we had was real-time metrics. This was the queue metrics. And what we did was, in case if the oldest contact age, that means the call which was sitting for more than 20 seconds in the queue, and the queue was one of this. We had was the claims, and then we had the recipient here. In the recipient, in case if you see, we have it as one of the supervisor, snow manager, and then we are sending this notification from Amazon Connect was generated by rule. And we also have this special character in case if you put square braces, it will provide you the predefined name, so you can pick and choose that. And then that's what exactly which we have done with the rule for the oldest call waiting threshold breached. In that way, the supervisor can take action. So with that, I'll just save and publish. So next time, whenever a call comes in, and if it breaches the threshold, real-time email will be sent to the agent, to the supervisor, so that the supervisor can take action. So let's look at others as well. In case the next one which I want to showcase is a post-call contact lens post-call data. So while Prashant was giving a demo, let me see in case if I have it here as well. Okay. So the other things which you can also do is compliance greetings, right? It's very important that when a customer calls in to let them know, saying that, hey, thank you for calling any company for quality and training purposes, this call may be recorded. Because sometimes, the customer may say, you know what, I don't want that recording. But for compliance, the agent has to call that out so that, they are aware of it. So you can define that as well. When you define, right, I'm just saying this particular keywords or phrases were mentioned during, you can pick and choose first 30 seconds of the call. Like this, you can specify this first 30 seconds of the call, and the participant was agent who was speaking this. Definitely, we don't want the customer, right? If the agent spoke this compliance, then I can mark this category has been reached. Because, in case if you have some new agents who are for some reason are not playing are talking these compliance greetings, you want to track them. So it becomes easier while you're searching for the contacts, pull out all the calls which does not have this category. In that way, you can reach out to those agents, and in case if they need any additional training, you can provide them as well. And you also have the ability, you can say seconds, minutes, or hours. Obviously, for compliance, we want to just say this at a very early stage. That's the reason I just call it as within first 30 seconds, in case if the agent did speak out the compliance greeting. So you can also do others as well, whether they greeted the customer or not, right? You're calling, hey, John, thanks for calling any company. So that's the reason we have it. We are saying, hey, did the agent even also greeted the customer? And did that happen in the first 30 seconds? If it is at that point of time, this particular category will be also tracked and mapped to your contact while you're searching for those calls. And the closing statement comes as well. This is another good one to see here. And then whether the agent had a nice handoff saying that, yep, thank you for calling us, have a nice day, or something similar to that. And did that happen in the last 20 seconds or 30 seconds of ending the call? In case if that's tracked, again, that category is also mapped to your contact. So let's look into the real-time call rules. So we have real-time call rules as well. So what we saw earlier was compliance, greetings, and so on and so forth. But the next thing, what we need to also ensure is, okay, fine, those things are good, but what about in case if there's a call which is going on and where the agent needs some assistance in real time, right? And how do we track it? We can leverage contact lens rules. And when the conversation is taking place, when the contact lens is turned on, the call transcription is sent real time, and it's continuously monitoring it and provides insights to the supervisor. So, for example, what we have done here is we have created a new rule for escalation. That means in case if the customer says, hey, I want to talk to a supervisor, I need immediate action. We have just configured only 3 here. We can also share one of the GitHub resource which we have it. We have like tons and tons of phrases which are commonly used across different industries. If you want to leverage that, and if you want to build your own categories, you can do that as well. In this scenario, in case if the customer mentions anything like I want to escalate to a supervisor, or I want to talk to your supervisor, anywhere it was mentioned at that point of time, this rule gets activated. And then next is, in case if you see here, you can immediately, if you want, you can send in an email to the supervisor saying that, hey, I'm sending you this contact ID, and looks like the customer is trying to escalate. Can you help the agent? And if you notice, it's also providing the instance URL, connect, and the trace record, and what is the contact ID associated with it. From the supervisor perspective, they don't even have to log into the system. Once they get this email, they click on this hyperlink, and essentially this gets loaded so that the supervisor can look into the transcript in real time. That'll be available to them, and in case if it's required, they can barge into that particular call and assist the agent and reduce the churn of the customer. So let me just not publish this. And we have other thing as well, even in case if if it's something related to the business, right? Where the customer is calling, maybe they are not very happy with the pricing that was given. Let's say they have an internet connection and suddenly their price bumped up. Instead of $100, it became $120 per month. And they may say, look, it's too much, I want to cancel it. Obviously, you want to track it. And if you want the supervisor to barge in, and they can barge in, and maybe they can say, okay, fine, you know what, looks like you've been a customer with us for a very long time, and maybe we can give some discount, and then probably maybe they can reduce the pricing and try to retain the customer. And if you notice here, when these rules are created, you had different options. You can create email, you can send an email, you can generate an event bridge notification as well. So for example, I'll take this churn, right? If you see here, I can also add additional conditions. For example, contact attributes. Because in case if they say cancel or terminate, this is another classic one. In case if you see here, it is giving two things at the same time, cancel leaves or terminate leaves. Instead of having two words, you're having one word here. And then you can also say, you know what, I also want to look into the contact attributes. Because the contact attributes, right, you may write things like, you know what type of customer are they? Are they are they platinum customer, gold customer, so on and so forth. Based on certain attributes, also you can trigger actions. And these actions, in case if you see here, one was the email, but you also have, if you want to create a task, you can create a task, or even if you want to send to an event bridge, you can do that as well. You may ask, why should I send to an event bridge? There may be certain times, where you want to integrate with your backend systems and maybe sending an email or sending a follow-up or text and so on and so forth. So that those things, the event bridge can publish that. You can again, you can subscribe a Lambda function, and the Lambda function will get this details. And then later point of time, if you want to build some automation around it, you can do that as well. All right, let's go to the other one, which I want to walk you through is the real-time chat rules. So more or less like how we did for voice. Pretty much you have the ability to track chat as well. From the chat perspective, in case if you see here, it's pretty much the same thing. You can save standard keywords or phrases. It can be agent or customer or either. And then you also have the ability for picking a language attribute. Right now, contact lens supports these languages. And again, we continue to evolve. We add additional languages as we move forward. And once any of these categories get tracked, you can add an action. If you want, you can create a task or send an event bridge event, or even in case if you want to send an email notification, you can do that as well. And the next one which I want to showcase to you is case. So the other thing which you noticed is when a case is created, right, you can automate that as well. Like you saw earlier where I called in and I told, you know what, I want to file a claim. At that point of time in the IVR itself, a new case was created with a case reason file a claim, because IVR identified file a claim. So that's why I created the case with the open status with case reason as a file a claim. Once I do it, now I have created an automation here. I'm going to automatically create a task, and then here in case if you see, you're defining what's the contact flow that needs to execute, and you're pre-filling certain information. What is the case ID, or what is the reason of the call, and which agent should be getting this particular notification, and what is the contact flow that should execute, and that can handle the this task. All this information is defined, and even in case if you want to, the event bridge notification is not there. Once this is defined, and I'm clicking next, and I'm just saving and publishing, so that whenever a customer calls in at that point of time, I get a task plus email notification. And the same thing is available to you even on update, right? So in case if you see here, let's say a case is put on hold. In case if it's put on hold, if you want to take certain action, maybe you want to send an email to one of the agents saying that, hey, look, the case that you had is put on hold. Now, what do you want to do? You want to take certain action? Do you want to call customers saying that, look, I need some additional details from you. That's the reason I'm putting this case on hold. So you can that kind of automation can be done as well, and you can add multiple conditions. It's not just this. You can say if the case is open, and then in case if it is a case is on hold, and if the car make is BMW, only then I want to execute this particular rule. Right? And next, what I want to do is I'll walk you through the real-time metrics. So real-time metrics, in case if you see here, we have a new one where you can define based on different criteria. So what I'll do is I'll just create rule. I'll click on real-time metrics. And then you have three categories here: queue metrics, routing profiles, and agent metrics. So then let's pick up a queue metrics, and also it will provide you a flexibility to pick and choose which channel you want. You want voice, chat, task, or all. You can uncheck it or you can check all. And then you have the ability to pick and choose what conditions, whether all conditions should meet or any of the condition should meet. So here you can add a condition, and in the conditions you can pick all or any. And here you have the ability to pick and choose whether you want to do real time or trialing. So let's go with real time, and then I'll come back to the trialing. So I'll just say back office agent. You can pick multiple queues as well, but I will, for example, like this. And as you notice, all three queues are selected here. Now you can click on add a metric. Earlier you saw Prashant had configured the oldest contact in age. Now you can say, you know what, I'm going to make it as contacts in queue. Contacts in queue, if it is exceeding 1,000, that means, you know what, I know my, I can, this looks like it's really exceeding my limit. Maybe I had to reskill agents because, you know, these three queues cannot handle it. Or I need to send a notification for a supervisor who can take some action around it. Or you need to notify your WFM folks saying that, you know what, it's exceeding this limit. Or let's say sometimes your this thing what's called contact center concurrent calls, it's breaching. So you want to get real-time notification. There's a whole bunch of criteria which can occur. Based on that, then you can say, you know what, let me just add an action and create a task or send an email notification or generate an event bridge. So you can perform any of these actions as well. It's pretty much a standard like how you saw for the voice call. You have three types of things that you can pick. You can create a task, you can send an email notification, or you can generate a event bridge notification. So let's look into the other one as well here. What we notice, and you can add another metric because you're saying all metrics, right? You're saying, okay, let me just make this as 10, and then I'll say my oldest call in the cage is maybe 45 seconds, and then I'll also add my agents available is less than or equal to 1, right? Now this is definitely, you know, not good scenario, and if you want to execute this rule and provide notifications to the user to take some action, you can do that. Now what I'll do is, now this is all real time, right? Let's say I'll do trialing window. Trialing window, in case if you see from past 15 minutes for these queues, if you see, they completely changed the metrics that we are tracking. We have the average handle time, the queue answer time, the interaction time, average hold time, service level. Service level is a classic one which you use, where you say in last 15 minutes for these queues, the service level of 30 seconds, let's say, is less than 75%. That means I'll just say less than or equal to. Less than or equal to 75%. That means I am not able to do it. That means I need to reskill the agent. I want to notify the WFM folks so that, you know, they can go and they are aware of it. And the second thing is the supervisor can go to these users or some users who are managing other calls, and maybe they don't have enough traffic which is coming along, but they're at least multi-scaled so that they can take these calls. They can rescale by changing their routing profiles, right? So you can perform those kind of actions for these metrics. And again, the other one which I want to say is the average handle time as well. If the average handle time, I can delete this if I don't need it. I'll say average handle time for these queues are exceeding 45 seconds. At that point of time, I want to send a notification to the end user. End user here, it can be a supervisor or a person who is handling the WFM, right? Now, the other one, earlier we saw agent metrics. We also have for the routing profiles as well. In the routing profiles, in case if you see, I can pick and choose one or two or multiple routing profiles. And in the metric, it's got the agents available. Now on the routing profile level itself, I am checking and seeing how many agents are available. Let's say my back office agent is something very critical for me because they get a lot of work. And in case if it's less than, let's say 14, just for argument's sake, less than or equal to 14, then I can send a notification, or I can create a task, or I can send an email to the recipients. Now the next one which we have is agent metrics as well. So I'm going to do this, and in case if you notice here, let's say I'll pick and choose the two agents here, and maybe these agents are new, and I want to check on the agent activity. If these agents are sitting in, let's say they were in meeting for more than 40 minutes or 25 minutes, right? Oh, that's a good indication for me, saying that, what, they were supposed to be back much earlier than this. They haven't, what needs to be done? Do I have to call them and check out whether they're coming in? Maybe they left for the day, whatever it is. In case if they had to reskill the agent to ensure the SLAs are met, it's very critical. So with that, what I will do is I will hand it over to Prashant to continue with his part of the demo.
Ram, it's over to Naveen. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Naveen.
Yeah. Over to you, Naveen. Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. Give me a second while I set it up. So I'm going to start with a quick demonstration. What I'm going to do here is that we're going to talk a little bit more about, besides what Ram actually covered, we're going to talk a little bit more about evaluation forms, and we're going to talk a little bit more about rules, and mostly the business scenarios where you would need rules and how you can address them. We're not going to go into as the level of detail that Ram presented, but I'm going to start with a use case. So let me share my screen here just for a second. Okay. So this is a use case that I'm going to talk about at the beginning of my presentation. I'll give everybody maybe 10 seconds to go through this use case. Okay. As it says here, Julie is a customer. Her flight was changed by the airline. Her travel plans have been impacted, and so she has to call the airline help desk for assistance. Now, typically in these scenarios, what we see in contact centers is that you typically have run evaluations at maybe 1%, 2%, all the way up to 5% or something like that. But more often than not, calls such as this might be picked for an evaluation, might not be picked for an evaluation. We don't know, because if you're sampling 1 to 5% of calls, maybe this is missed. But what I'm about to show you with Connect, you can actually increase the rate of your evaluation from those single-digit numbers all the way to 100%. And let's actually flip to the call here to see this in action. So this, what you're seeing right here, is an agent, myself, who's going to receive a phone call, and I'm just going to play the key highlights from this call so you get an idea of what's happening. So
Support queue.
hi, thank you for calling the travel desk. How can I help?
I'm having a terrible day, and you know what? I'm so frustrated, and this is just horrible that you've changed my flight. I was supposed to get back in 2 days, and now I don't even know when I'm going to get back. Somebody said I might get back on Monday.
Okay, so you see the customer is frustrated as a flight delay or whatever the situation might be. And agent is receiving the call, agent is receiving every kind of information that the customer is going to provide, and they're going to try to serve to the best of their knowledge. Now I'm going to fast forward uh, to a little bit further in this call here.
At this point, I've just lost
Say,
it here where the user services.
sorry that you're having a bad
So
experience.
this
I'll cancel your service. Is there
uh,
anything else I can do? Okay, so what you're seeing is that this was an irate customer, agent handled the phone call, and the agent unfortunately has to cancel the customer service because that's what the customer demanded. Here is where the call ends. And now what's going to happen is that because of some of the aspects of what Ram showed you earlier, because of rules, because of evaluation forms, because of the way the notifications have been set up, you will see that this call, which could have been ignored in a previous setup where you have only 5% or 2% evaluation, this cannot go ignored with an Amazon Connect setup where you would have rules to catch something like this, and you can immediately send a notification to the relevant parties to address the situation.
No,
So,
I'm done with you people.
thank you very much and apologies again. Yeah, so I'm going to pause here. This is the supervisor who then receives a task that was set using the same guiding principles that Ram just mentioned. So basically what has happened in here, as I'm about to show you, is that there was a rule created that was trapping what the agent and the customer were interacting. And based on some conditions in the rule, for example, the customer sentiment was negative, agent said something, customer said something, you can actually set the notification up such that the supervisor is notified that this happened. And the supervisor can actually click on this link. I'm going to show you right here. And this is taking that supervisor to the contact detail page where they are actually able to see everything that happened with the contact. So prior to this, in any existing environment, if you had to manually fish for calls that you needed to evaluate, contacts that you needed to evaluate, in this system, you're actually notified and you can come straight to the contact. So I'm going to minimize this, and from here, I'm going to take you to the actual page here, the contact details page, to walk through some of the items that Ram had already talked about. So you're seeing the sentiment, you're seeing the screen recording, and alongside this, you're actually seeing evaluations right here. So the crux of this is that while all of this is populated, a supervisor has this contact, everything about the contact in their disposal right here. They can actually click on evaluations and they can start to evaluate the agent right there. So they can move through the contact this way. They can listen to the recording, listen to the audio if they so desire, or just look at the categories that have been created and they can evaluate the contact right then and there. Now, this one evaluation is only for agent evaluation, agent behavior evaluation, a form that I'd created. But we really don't have a restriction on the number of forms that you can use to evaluate an agent. For example, you might have, like me here, you can have an agent evaluation, behavior evaluation form. You might have a separate form in this case to evaluate the transaction, etc. The net result of all of this is that you have a very rich collection of data on which to mine the call and to see what went on, and then to either influence your agent training or influence your product so the agent has better capabilities to handle such situations in the future, or agent has a different training to adjust their behavior, or you can even expose more tools to help the agent interact with an irate customer such as this. So from here, I'm going to take you to the evaluation forms. And while I'm talking about evaluation forms, it isn't so this chart here can actually summarize what we have been through here, right? The customer called in, agent answered, and behind the scenes, the audio was transcribed. We conducted a sentiment analysis. We conducted a contact analysis. And then there was a rule created, which then notified the supervisor. Supervisor is going to evaluate that agent and do their various kinds of analysis. What we're going to look at next is evaluation forms. I'm going to come to this, but just as a quick highlight, you can create an evaluation form manually, or you can create it programmatically. When you're filling the form, you can fill it manually. You can have partial items that are filled via contact lens categories, some of the items that are filled via contact lens categories, or you can have fill in some of the aspects of the form via some native contact lens categories. So we're going to talk about all of these. Just at a high level, remember that you have the ability to automate a lot of evaluation forms depending upon how your business decides. So this is the evaluation form under consideration. All the evaluation forms in our console, like from right here, from the main console, you can actually come down here to evaluation forms. And this gives you a glimpse of a manual evaluation form. Like in my chart here, this one right here is a manual evaluation form. This is just one of the ways in which you can create an evaluation form. And you have, it's extremely simple to create. You can select the sections, the subsections, the questions right here, like you would do. There is, it's self-explanatory. There is an administration guide, but it's most of the items in here are very easy to grasp. My first section was agent behavior, so I have 3 questions in here. Did the agent greet the customer? Was the whole time reasonable? I can keep adding questions. I can keep adding sections, as the case might be. I can decide that I need to have some sort of scoring enabled, and we have some scoring mechanisms in here also available. And like I was talking about the level of automation, you can actually decide whether you want to automate it via some categories that you already have or some natively available categories. Once again, I'm only talking about this manual right now. I haven't headed to the programmatic evaluation. So even in manual, you have the ability to do some kind of automation. So for example, this one question, did the agent greet the customer? Like Ram had explained, I have a rule that basically goes through how an agent would have greeted the customer, like, hey, thank you for calling, etc., etc. So I have 2 questions, 2 answers, yes or no. And for scoring, I say yes gets 10, no gets 0, up to you, however you do it. Automation, I have a category called greeting call right here within rules. I have it somewhere. Yeah, greeting call right here, which has, as Ram had talked about, some words and phrases, some semantic match. These are basically all of my categories already there. And I'm just keying off of those categories. If that category is present, then the answer is yes, otherwise it's no. So what we just talked about is a automatic way of evaluating a contact via custom contact lens categories that you create. The other way that you can also automate is, for example, how positive was the customer sentiment? Now, contact lens captures some parameters of the contact of the analysis by default. Like, for example, the number of times a customer was interrupted by an agent. What was the sentiment of the call? Several categories are actually captured by contact lens. So the point is, you don't need to create a custom category for those. When you have this situation, you can actually look at automation. So for example, here, I just have the sentiment score of the customer coming directly from contact lens. I'm using that for my scoring. I'm arbitrarily saying that when the sentiment is -5 to 3, I'm going to give them 5. I'm going to score the agent 5. When it's 3 to -5, I'm going to give them 10. So these are 2 different ways in which you can automatically evaluate. You create a custom category, or you use one of the inbuilt categories. And the result of that is what's going to happen. I'm going to say this, I'm going to edit this again. For this particular evaluation, you see contact lens is automatically filling up these categories. Did the agent greet the customer? Yes, I did, as in the agent. I mean, in this case, I was the agent. So how positive was the customer sentiment? -5 is very negative. Was the hold time reasonable? This is neutral because there wasn't any hold time in this call. So this actually covers you being able to evaluate a customer via contact lens categories, custom categories, or via native categories, right? And you created the form manually. You could have questions that require the supervisor to answer. There might be a very transactional question that supervisor is going to fill in the answer, like a text-based answer. You can provide instructions to evaluators as well, or you can mark a question as not applicable as well. Those are all some of the options available at your disposal when you're doing manual evaluations. Next up from there is automatic evaluation. So if you and Ram myself have a blog for there, I can paste the link for that. Essentially, this particular blog, which goes about and talking about how you can use some of the APIs behind the scenes, evaluation APIs, to actually automatically evaluate a contact. The result of that is going to show up right here. When your supervisor comes in to look into the contact detail, they would already see that there is an automatic evaluation and the evaluation has been submitted as well. They can still go into the evaluation and can edit it if they feel that it's not worthwhile or something's wrong. And the use case there, typically, if you have a post-call survey, the call hung up and then the customer was called, or the agent hung up and the customer was put into a survey system where they have, let's say, a net promoter score. How likely are you to promote this product on a scale of 1 to 10? So you can automatically evaluate that contact and place it right here so that your supervisor can actually see that this is how the contact progressed and this is what the customer gave in the survey evaluation. They have both of those pieces of information to then evaluate the agent as well. So that's also a possibility. Now, as far as automatically evaluating agents, we have APIs available for agent evaluations. This, for example, is the admin guide link for all of the APIs that are available to create an evaluation form and to submit the form, etc., etc. You can also actually create an evaluation form using CloudFormation template. Like if you are moving between Amazon Connect instances, you can use, if you have a CI/CD pipeline mechanism set up, you can actually build evaluation forms with CloudFormation template. This is the CloudFormation template link. Then let's quickly talk. I think I have like 7 more minutes remaining. Let's quickly discuss a little bit more about rules besides what Ram has mentioned. Right? So you saw that you were able to manually or programmatically evaluate an agent. If you can create a form manually or programmatically. If you are filling the form, you can manually fill up the form and evaluate an agent. You can have custom contact lens categories. You can have automatic native contact lens categories. And then let's talk a little bit about rules. While Ram provided a very tactical overview of the rules, let's look at a little bit a high level of what rules are. You have these various types of rules: conversational analytics, evaluation form, real time. But the general pattern for rules is basically if this, then that. Basically, if a condition occurs in any of these areas, then do this. So for example, let's look at one of these rules here. This one right here that I just used to create a task. So what it really is doing, if these words and phrases were uttered, cancel my service, horrible, etc., etc. And you can have an and or condition. So you can have multiple categories in the if side of things. So if customer said these and the sentiment of the customer was negative. So if any one of these criteria is set up, you can have more conditions in here as well. I don't know if there is an upper limit on the number of conditions. And then on the next side, you say, what do you want to do? Here as well, you have options of doing one thing or multiple things. So first off, I'm just defining a category, customer negative sentiment. So that category is going to show up right here, customer negative sentiment right here. But in addition to doing that customer negative sentiment, I am also, sorry. Oh, my apologies. Yeah. So you have your customer negative sentiment, etc. And what I'm really doing is I can actually create a task behind that. So I have that customer negative sentiment category called out. But then here, I'm creating a task. And I think there were some questions around Event Bridge. So you have an option of that as well. So you can create a case, an Event Bridge notification, send an email notification. You have various options or all of the options. I chose to create a task and I chose to send it to the supervisor. If you choose to create an Event Bridge an Event Bridge is an AWS service. I don't think there's a cost for it. An Event Bridge is basically something that is collecting event from a one of the other AWS services. In this case, Amazon Connect, and then you typically will have a handler like a Lambda handler that would get the event and then take appropriate action. The most common thing that I have seen, most common pattern is that you want to send an SMS notification to somebody. A very common example that I see is somebody threatened the agent. You want to create an event bridge event, and send an SMS notification to the supervisor or whoever is responsible, in addition to creating a task, in addition to sending an email. So that really covers the if side of things. If a problem is discovered, then take this action. So you can send a task notification, event bridge event, email, case, or just simply call out a category. Whichever one your business prefers, whatever, depending upon the urgency, how soon do you want to notify somebody is essentially what you have to create a rule for. And once you have that set up, again, rules are all displayed here in this UI. You can click on here to create a rule. You can create various kinds of rule as Ram outlined. And lastly, at Amazon Connect, generally, you would have seen that you have a pattern where you can do things in this console, and then you have additional capabilities to automate it. As your efficiency within Amazon Connect increases, you also have the ability to automate a lot of this. Rule creation, for example. Rules as well have an API, and rules also have a CloudFormation entry. So you can use APIs to create rules, describe, list, update rules, etc. And then you also have CloudFormation. So if you have an automation use case and you have to move assets between different instances, you can use CloudFormation to create a rule. That way you have an archive mechanism to store the rules. Of course, if you have a code repository, you could use pretty much the same thing. It gets you the same result, but you could either use APIs, CloudFormation, or a combination of two to create those rules. Once you have created those rules, they are going to appear right here. And then even when they are here, you can duplicate it or remove it as the case might be. Behind the scenes, everything is using an API. So you could pretty much do duplication or removal via our APIs as well, right? So to summarize here, that's almost the end of my presentation. To summarize, I had a contact and the contact was irate. So I was able to create I was able to trap whatever the customer said and create a notification for my supervisor. And the supervisor was able to come in here, evaluate the agent. They can evaluate multiple facets of the conversation. And once they have done it, they submit it. And so because of that capability of this capability, a supervisor can evaluate more contacts, can identify deeper problems, and can take action on them as required. And last and final, you can also, some of my customers have actually done that. They have turned on evaluations for 100% of their contact, and the insight they get is invaluable. The amount of information, opportunities for product improvement or agent training improvement is invaluable. So you can actually evaluate 100% of your contacts. So if you are somewhere in the low single digit evaluation criteria, you can actually start to evaluate at 100%. So I think I've covered my 20 minutes that I'd allocated. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing and pass it over to Julie.
Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. I'm excited to talk about data now. So I'm going to turn off my camera so that you can know that I'm a person, but I want to save bandwidth for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and open up and we're going to talk about data. Super excited to talk about data with you. So let me just go ahead and show you. This is a great feature called theme detection. So you heard about all this great functionality, all these wonderful things that we can do out of the box. One of the things I want to make sure that you know is theme detection is readily available, and it helps you automatically discover your top trending reasons for why customers are reaching out. So it's a great quick way to really understand what are the top issues that are affecting my customers across thousands of contacts. So what you would do is you would go and use the filter system, and you would go and select a time range or date range. You could potentially select an agent if that's important. You can select a channel status. So all of these filters, any of these filters, you can set what's important to you and find those records. Then you're going to go over and you're going to click the save and you're going to name it. Now, to just kind of quickly show you this, I went ahead and took a search from the summer, and I called it theme detection, and I saved it. Now, once you have that saved search, this generate themes report is going to become available to you, which I've already clicked the button to create the report. But if you click that button, it takes about 2 minutes, just so you know, it's pretty quick. So now I've got this great report that I ran yesterday, and we can look at that and say, what were the calls June 26th to August 17th? What was on people's minds? Why were they calling me? And it's really cool to see that it shows you exactly the categories of themes, and you can click on the headers across the top, and you can see what those calls were, and you can drill into each one if that's important to you. Now, what's a great takeaway here is you can discover, like, this is an example. People were calling, 414 people were calling about resetting a password. If you want to automate this, make it a little more helpful, you could add an automatic password reset so that your agents don't have to talk to those 414 customers, and those customers would have a very quick and automated way to reset their passwords. So these are just some helpful things that you can find. Some of our customers will actually listen in for marketing promotions by competitors, or whatever kinds of things that you want to pick up on. The themes will go and look at all of those contacts and tell you what they're hearing, which is great. Understanding these issues is really good. So a couple key takeaways I want you to know about theme detection. It's available for the languages that are supported in Contact Lens, and that you must save your search first. So make sure you pick out what you want to look at, and then you save it with a good name, and then you can run your generate theme report, and that report stays good for 30 days. Now your saved report stays good much longer, but your generation of the theme stays good for 30 days. So you could just, after 30 days, you could recreate it, no problem at all, change your criteria if that's important to you. So just really helpful information. So as demonstrated, theme detection is really a great way to discover issues and trends in customer conversations that were previously unknown. Without theme detection, you might not know what you don't know. So use these results to improve your customer experience, to improve your business, to automate where it makes sense. So theme detection is powerful, a really great feature that we just introduced. It's a really good one that we're continuously improving. So the other cool thing I want to talk about is the data lake. Now, I'm a sort of a data person, so that's probably why I'm super excited about it. But the Amazon Connect Data Lake, it offers a powerful feature called Analytics Data Lake. It provides 0 ETL. For those of you who are not data background folks, that's extract, transport, and load. These are jobs that run continuously, pulling data from one system to another. So we do that for you. We dupe the data, we make it ready and queryable for you. So the great thing is when you turn on the data lake, you then have access to this really powerful data. Let me show you what that looks like. So I have taken my data lake tables and I have brought it into our BI tool called QuickSight. And this is just one of the tables in the data lake. And if you scroll down to these calculated fields, you see all of these fields readily available, filled with data from the data lake. So it makes it really easy to drag and drop these calculated fields, these fields behind Connect and Contact Lens, make them readily available. So then you can do something like I've done here, where I've just drag and dropped and created very quick and easy with my data from Contact Lens. I can quickly see a call center agent summary of their information. How many calls did they handle? What's their interaction time? How many people did they put on hold? Look at all of this great information that you have at your fingertips to show, and your supervisors can take a look at what's happening within the Contact Lens or into Connect's data behind the scenes. So this really helps you to get these metrics, get them quickly, and be able to drill down into your data and create custom dashboards that really help you make good decisions about your business. So really awesome. The data lake empowers all of this functionality for you, but let's say your team doesn't want to do integrations. We've got a really good way that we actually have out of the box reports too. So we have a new dashboards and reports page with this tab called dashboards, that where you can, without using ETL, without using data lake, without having to worry about the data, the underlying data, we do everything for you here. So you can take these dashboards. We have two different templates. We have a conversational analytics dashboard template, and we have a queue template. So I'm just going to go down here first to the conversational analytics dashboard, show you what that looks like. So what's really great about this dashboard is it's out of the box, native, all the data is coming in for you. And you can take, this is an example of where we're going to take a month and we're going to compare it to the prior month. So you have the flexibility. You can look at the last 15 minutes, the last 30 seconds, last month, the last 3 months. You decide the time range and you set it up at the top, and it auto populates all the way down through this report. So it's really good. Now let me show you something great. Let's say you wanted to look at the contact categories. We heard about rules, we heard about contact categories. Let's see what they actually look like in action. So we've got here, we can see that 58% of my contacts had a closure voice post call, which was a rule that I created. And I had 46% of my calls were irate customers. That's not good. And we had 12% of the calls that had an empathy voice. So you can quickly see what is happening in your call center. And here is movers and shakers, where you can actually see what's trending up. What do you see more of? What do you see less of? So we've got these great widgets that are going to show you trends. As we scroll down, you can see the other widgets that come out of the box. We've got average handle time, which we're comparing last month to this month, right? And we can take a look at our queues and see what's happening, looking at queue by queue. So really great dashboard right out of the box. And you can set your priorities of what you want to look at. You can add filters. And then the most important thing, save it. Give it a good name, and it's available for you to come back. One thing I want to make sure that you know is you've got some actions in here where you can save it, you can download a CSV, you can download a PDF, you can share it. So once you create it, you can do a lot of powerful things with it. So really now the other one that we talked about, so this is the conversational analytics dashboard, but I also want to show you, very similar is our queue dashboard. So this one again has the comparison time range. Let me go back and find the one that's pre-created that's a little more interesting. So this one is looking at a month-over-month comparison. And here you can see it has a little less information than the conversational analytics, but it does have a great service levels, contact handles, average handle time. So lots of good information. And again, still the same functionality where you can add filters, the things that make sense to you and are important to you. And across the top, we have those great actions where you can so you can definitely save as and download a CSV, download a PDF, or share it. So just a couple of key takeaways I want you to know about the Q dashboard and the both the Q dashboard and the conversational analytics dashboard. Both of them, I just want you to know, are available in all AWS regions. There are no charge to use these features. And this dashboard, really, both of them help you track and enhance your performance, your business performance, and being able to take a look at what's happening in your call centers right out of the box. So I just thank you for listening to theme detection, the new data lake, and our out of the box dashboards. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jing for the last few minutes to answer some questions and be available to wrap it up.
Great. Thank you, Julie. Hey, thanks, everyone. Just presented. This is awesome session and very interactive. So before I start, I would like to share a couple of call to action. There's some great news for you. First of all, we are announcing a new free trial in contact lens conversation analytics. So for every new customer every customer never used the conversational analytics before, you will have the first 2 months, your first 100,000 minutes analyzed for free per month. So that means you get 200,000 minutes in total for the first 2 months. Of course, 100,000 each month for free analyzed. So if you're running a POC, you would like to see how things are working, this is great free trial for you to get started. We really love you to be able to experience our services and make your own decision, right? So you'll get the full value of our services. In addition to that, we also have, remember the performance evaluation that Naveen showed, you will also have first 30 days for free when you get started. Same thing for forecasting capacity scheduling. We did not cover this today, which will be our next session. And for next month, you also get 90 days for free with your POCs. So yeah, we got a lot of things you can leverage to start POC, and we work with you and welcome your feedback. So please fully leverage that. And same thing, we are going to post a recording of this session at the end of, once it's ready. We also have more sessions coming for Maximize and Amazon Connect. Pretty much every month, we will have one topic, focus on agent experience, analytics, insight, and optimization, and also omnichannels. So if you are looking for more future information, please make sure there's a QR code for my LinkedIn. You can follow me and get my post. Yeah, I'll post there. All right. With that, so please, your feedback is very important to us. So please fill out the survey, and this is the QR code for the survey. It should just take a couple minutes. PK, could you please also paste the link for the survey in the group?
Yep.
In the
Right
chat.
now.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right now. Give me one second. It's coming out.
Okay. And thank you for all the great questions, by the way. I have everybody's busy answering the questions. I'll just pick a couple ones that I think maybe it's good for everybody to know, but for the ones we have not answered, we definitely will send back to you by email. But you also feel free to reach out to us asking more questions. So the first one I would like to, there was a question about the availability about the Gen AI powered post contact summaries functioning contact lens. Yes, so the first availability will be in US regions. and it will be English only, but definitely we are looking at expand to some other regions and with different languages. So if you do have customers or you are the customer needed more in other regions or language, please reach out to your account team, your SAs, and let us know. We'll definitely submit a product feature request, and because we walk back from customers asking, prioritization is very, very depending on the PFRs. Okay, thank you for that. And then there's another interesting question is, we talked about a lot of things about the rules today by Ram and also Naveen. We were asking, what is the, do we require contact lens to be turned on for rules or not? So I just want to show you this page again, because we did not talk about pricing. So what really happened here is, again, this bucket is, each of the bucket are independent, okay? So if you're looking, this all come with Connect. Once you have a Connect services, you should already have those come with Connect without additional charge, right? So you are free to using rules. But only thing required if you need to define rules using conversational analytics, and then that's where you need to, you need to turn on conversational analytics feature. So the answer is no, you don't need to turn on conversational analytics to use the rules. Same thing for performance evaluation. If you're doing you're doing manual evaluation just using the scorecards, you don't need the conversational analytics to be turned on. And same as recording, the screen recording, they're all separate. But if you want to automate your evaluation, and then the best way is to turn on your conversational analytics, so you will understand and set up the rules to automate it. So that's pretty much how those different dependencies between the different services. Okay, I think we have time for another question. Yes, we will. PK and Ram, there's ask for us posting some of the GitHub links that you guys mentioned. And we also have a lot of people asking for workshops and the blogs about all the wonderful things you have shown on this in this demo. So we will send follow-up email with all the public links that link to the GitHub and also the blogs that will help you to setting things up and implementing some integration with other functions.
Jing, can you, I think at least a couple of folks are asking about when the recording will be available to them. Can you please let them know?
Yeah, I think it's about 2 weeks, max 2 weeks, but we'll see how quickly we can get that done. There's also a question, can we also look at the Q&As? We can publish some Q&As based on sensitivity, but yes, we are looking at that too. Thank you. With that, I really want to thank everybody spending whole 2 hours with us and all the wonderful questions. We really appreciate your effort and support. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time at Maximizing Connect.
Thanks everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.